Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you book a fatal four-way match. That is how you make everyone in a match who you have a lot of time invested in and you want to see have a bright future in WWE without stalling their momentum. That is how you do it. Tonight on NXT, they showed you how things are supposed to be done. The one thing everybody is questioning, because I see it right now on my Twitter wall, was why WWE would jeopardize Aleister Black in the match tonight by having his shoulders pinned 1, 2, 3. I mentioned this a few times already. If it is for the greater story, I am okay with it. I've said it once, and I'm going to say it again. Aleister Black does not need to be undefeated to be NXT champion. Aleister Black doesn't even need to be NXT champion. The greater story here is Johnny Gargano. Aleister Black tonight was a leading role in procuring Johnny Gargano and getting him to become the NXT champion. The one thing I am concerned about, though, and I'm hoping that Triple H sees the reaction that Johnny Gargano tonight, and I hope Triple H knows the reaction that Johnny Gargano will get in Philadelphia if he wins the NXT championship. But the one thing that I am worried about, and it's something that, you know, being an Atlanta Braves fan and watching years and years and years and years of Atlanta Braves baseball, when they were in their prime, you could even attribute it to you going out on a date and you meet this girl and things are going like unbelievably well. And you have one date turns into 3 dates, 3 dates turns into 5 dates. Everything is going picture perfect. The one thing in the back of your mind when you're laying down at night is this too good to be true? Is this one of those situations where it's too good to be true? Johnny Gargano really isn't a prototypical WWE superstar that they look at and see world champion. I see world champion. I see underdog. I see old school. I see babyface. I see people investing their time in Johnny Gargano, and to me, that speaks volumes. Is it a situation of it being too good to be true for Johnny Gargano? I hope not. I certainly hope not, man. The greater story is one step away from becoming absolutely beautiful. Aleister Black and his shoulders were pinned. They kept him looking strong. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era obviously played ties into that. It all ties together. Adam Cole is upset that Aleister Black ousted him from this tournament, right? He wanted a spot in the Fatal 4-Way. Aleister Black stopped that for Adam Cole. Adam Cole seeking revenge. That really weakened Aleister Black tonight to the point where, you know, it wasn't all Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano got an unbelievable assist from Undisputed Era tonight. So it's not as if Johnny Gargano went in there and buried Aleister Black. They made Aleister Black look strong because of what happened to Aleister Black tonight. Johnny Gargano was just there and he reaped the benefits. Killian Dane, what can I say that I have not said about Killian Dane? War Games was all you need to know about Killian Dane. When I look at Killian Dane, I see Vader. I see a Vader-esque big man in his prime that can move and that people can believe in. Killian Dane is going to have a monster future in WWE. You talk about someone who could play a prototypical grade A monster heel. Killian Dane is your man. Killian Dane is a few steps ahead of Lars Sullivan, but I think the same exact way about Lars Sullivan. He even looked good tonight. He didn't have to do anything completely out of the ordinary. He was using his power and his environment to his advantage, and Lars Sullivan acted as Lars Sullivan should act, like a maniacal beast. He looked good tonight. He even took a massive bump in the match, went through a table, and arose from the ashes to come back and make you believe he was actually going to win the match. And then Johnny Gargano. What can I say about Johnny Gargano? This story just took a turn. The next chapter was written, and Johnny Gargano is now your number one contender for the NXT Championship. He will be fighting Andrade Cien Almas at NXT Takeover in Philadelphia. And the right outcome for this is Gargano winning the title, and then Ciampa coming back and challenging Gargano at WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans at TakeOver for the NXT Championship. And I want NXT, and I want Triple H, and I want WWE to allow those two guys to go out there and steal the show like I know that they will. That's how you do a fatal four-way, folks. In a year where WWE has over-abused fatal four-ways, NXT gave you a fatal four-way and showed you exactly how it should be done. Everybody looked good. Everybody played a vital role. And the greater story had its next chapter written with Johnny Gargano. There's nothing more I can say about it. There really is nothing more I can say about it. Johnny Gargano is the right winner here. Johnny Gargano is the right man for the NXT Championship. If that reaction tonight did not convince you, you need to go back and watch what Johnny Gargano has been doing for the last couple of weeks. This is going to be a magical moment. This is going to be an epic moment. And moments like this do not come around all that often. When the fans are invested in a character like they are Johnny Gargano, this is something that you do not see all that often in professional wrestling. WWE has Johnny Gargano knocking on their door to create something absolutely beautiful for the NXT brand, for the WWE brand, for professional wrestling to start 2018. Do not turn this opportunity away. I am telling you right now, I am an absolute sucker for situations like this. I really am. I loved every bit of it with Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan raised both of those titles at WrestleMania 30, I shed a tear because I was so invested in everything that Daniel Bryan was doing on Monday Night Raw. If Johnny Gargano does what I hope he does at TakeOver Philadelphia, I'm going to have the same reaction for Johnny Gargano as I did Daniel Bryan. This is something special, and you cannot turn this away. Andrade Cien Almas is a interim champion. He is one of those guys that is merely holding the title to give it to the next guy for the greater story to be told. Johnny Gargano is your new NXT champion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, then WWE fucked up. Johnny Gargano was the right man to win this match, Royal Rumble weekend. It's good to be back talking NXT, man. Last week, I did watch the epic show that was with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, and then obviously Undisputed Era winning the tag team championships from Sanity, which they're getting their rematch in 2 weeks. I was away doing business, very important personal things to take care of, so I did not get a review. I wanted to get a review, but where I was, there was no internet, and then my laptop pretty much crapped out, so I'll be saving for a new laptop sometime in 2018, as my old Alienware is about 4 years old and just completely is on its last legs. But I did watch everything from last week. I'm sorry I did not get a review for you guys, but I'm here. I am back this week, and we're going to be talking about NXT tonight and the fantastic show, as always, that was tonight on the WWE Network. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live. Reviews are live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check those out. SmackDown Live, it seemed like nobody really gave a shit about SmackDown Live, but it was a decent show to end 2017. Monday Night Raw, the Christmas show. We had Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, and then obviously the new tag team champions in Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, which was one of the more newsworthy things that WWE did this week. Make sure you guys go and check those two reviews out if you did miss it. If YouTube did not send you notifications, or if you just did not have time to catch up on everything, they are live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go and check that stuff out. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for notifications. We are just about at 86,000 subscribers, man. We are knocking at the door at 86,000 subscribers right here on YouTube.com. So thank you all for the love and support. And please check out my sponsors, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys visit the Patreon page, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you to all the new Patreons this week, following Off the Script this past weekend. So thank you to all that you guys do. And I do have some video game content on the channel as well. Call of Duty gameplays. I got a Fortnite Battle Royale gameplay coming tomorrow, and I actually went back to WWE 2K18 this afternoon. Live stream is already rendered, already on the channel, man. So if you guys missed the live stream earlier today with WWE 2K18, Mr. 9 to 5 is now the new Mr. Money in the Bank as we head towards SummerSlam. And Mr. 9 to 5 is now challenging Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. So make sure you guys go and check out all the funny moments today from the live stream for WWE 2K18 My Career. Let's get into NXT tonight, man. There really isn't much to talk about on top of what happened with the Fatal 4-Way. Show opened up with the Street Profits. They went against two randoms, Chris Starr and Riley Apex. I didn't know who was who. One of them looked like a young JBL. Black tights, big husky guy, long hair. I don't know where the fuck they found these guys from, but Street Profits made quick work of Starr and Apex. Montez Ford is one athletic mofo, man. I tell you that, man. And Angelo Dawkins, I don't know what this fucking stirring the pot deal is. Maybe he once tried out for Titus Catering, you know? Maybe he was trying out for the mascot of Titus Catering, because I don't know what this is. He's stirring the pot of what? Was he a executive chef for Titus Catering at one point? Did he really, fancy himself in the art of soup? Was he the soup man? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous. But I think the Street Profits are going to be future tag team champions in NXT. I mean, how could they not? They're one of the more exciting teams on NXT right now. And Percy Watson looks like he busts a load every time these guys come out, man. He's like, Nigel, you seeing that? What happens when Aleister Black comes out? Where's Percy Watson then? He doesn't say anything when Aleister Black comes out or when Lars Sullivan comes out. It's like, Percy, you ready to party? Jesus Christ. Anyway, Street Profits win here. Big stinger splash from Angelo Dawkins. And then Montez Ford with an unbelievable frog splash. The height he got on that frog splash, man. Unbelievable. 1, 2, and it was time to drink. Street Profits win, and they take care of Chris Starr and Riley Apex. Ember Moon, women's champion, versus Sonya Deville. I really didn't give a shit about this match, to be quite honest with you. Why? I love Ember Moon. I think Ember Moon is great. Sonya Deville, thumbs down. Nothing about Sonya Deville interests me at all. Ember Moon wins with a Eclipse, but the match itself was pretty boring. It's not like Sonya Deville wrestled a bad match where I'm going to sit here and shit all over it. It's just, I don't care about her. She's very bland. She is very, very bland and unexciting. And you can still tell she is green as shit in the ring. Ember Moon obviously sent Sonya Deville packing. She's on Monday Night Raw. This was her going away match in NXT, so she got an Eclipse as a going away present. The main thing in this match was what happened after the match. Kairi Sane comes out, and I love this, man. You guys got to go back and watch it. If you guys did watch it, you know what I'm talking about. Kairi Sane looking as cute as ever. So all you guys who love the anime look of Kairi Sane, you were probably busting about 3 or 4 different loads because she took her little microscope, or her little telescope rather, and she was looking at Ember Moon through the telescope, and she was bending over while doing it. All you cosplay fanatics, you were probably fucking drooling at the sight of Kairi Sane bending over, you know, looking at Ember Moon through her telescope. All of a sudden, we have SHAYNA BASZLER come out of nowhere in her black leather jacket. Kairi Sane is motioning for Ember Moon's NXT Women's Championship. SHAYNA BASZLER says, fuck that. You eliminated me from the Mae Young Classic. I'm going to choke you out and show you that you ain't getting no title shot. SHAYNA BASZLER comes out and chokes out Kairi Sane. Referees break it up. Kairi Sane was tapping out quickly to the rear naked choke, and she was laying motionless at the end of the segment. So, I do have an issue with this. I liked it. I liked what I seen here, but I am worried that WWE is so high on SHAYNA BASZLER that they're pretty much going to throw Kairi Sane to the wolves already. And I don't think that's the story that needs to be told here with Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane needs to be built up like Asuka was built up in NXT, okay? SHAYNA BASZLER, A, green as shit. B, you're not going to bypass Kairi Sane and what you got built and planned for her for SHAYNA BASZLER. I feel like SHAYNA BASZLER is going to go over Kairi Sane because WWE is more high up on SHAYNA BASZLER, and that's not the right thing to do here. Kairi Sane and Ember Moon is your NXT Women's Championship match in New Orleans. Kairi Sane wins the NXT Championship and goes on to remain undefeated all through her run in NXT, just like Asuka. That's my fantasy booking about the Women's Championship in NXT. That's what you need in the women's division down in NXT. Kairi Sane does what Asuka did, but not to the extent that Asuka did it. But she gets called up to either Raw or SmackDown undefeated. Preferably on Raw. And then when Asuka is still your women's champion on Monday Night Raw, and you really want to tease a main event at WrestleMania featuring 2 women, Asuka and Kairi Sane are your 2 women that are going to take you to WrestleMania if you even want to contemplate having a women's match main event WrestleMania. Undefeated Asuka versus undefeated Kairi Sane. There you go. Money is made. Something that hasn't happened ever. That's your women's match for WrestleMania if you are even contemplating a main event at an event like that. SHAYNA BASZLER, I would not even think about having Shayna go over Kairi Sane right now. I would not. Shayna's looking like it's going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time type of deal with her. And I don't know why WWE would start her out in a feud with Kairi Sane. They're going to book themselves into a corner. Because I know WWE doesn't want to beat Kairi Sane now. It's too soon. It's way too soon. You don't want to beat Kairi Sane either. SHAYNA BASZLER either. You don't want to do that. You don't want to beat either one of them. So unless WWE is planning on negating both of them and having a draw, and there's no clear-cut winner here, I don't see what the point of putting SHAYNA BASZLER against Kairi Sane now is. Shayna should run through some of the roster first before you get to Kairi Sane. It's okay to make a statement, but don't have her first feud be against Kairi Sane when she clearly isn't ready for what's to come yet. That's my only gripe with that. A little confused on that booking, but we'll see what happens. The Queen of Spades has arrived in NXT. Christy St. Cloud. I cringe every time I see her, man. She is absolutely one of the most cringeworthy things on WWE television. She catches up with Ember Moon. She says, what happened out there with Kairi Sane and SHAYNA BASZLER? Ember Moon says that she isn't hard to find, and she knew that being NXT Women's Champion would give her a target on her back. She says if anyone wants the title, she knows or Kairi Sane knows, and Shayna Baszler knows where they could find her. Meet her in the ring next time. Tag team title rematch was announced. O'Reilly and Fish, Undisputed Era versus Sanity in 2 weeks. Next week's show, I will probably not be doing an NXT review next week, which is a shame, because I enjoy doing these reviews on Wednesday night. But next week is going to be a 2-hour year in review episode on NXT. So nothing of storyline purposes will be on next week's show. They're going to be taking the week off, and then that'll leave us with about 4 weeks for the build towards TakeOver in Philadelphia. Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano. A number 1 contender fatal 4-way match. Great fucking main event. This thing got started and none of these guys wasted any time, man. Black sent Sullivan to the outside and he hits a wicked kick on Killian Dane. Black goes for his patented moonsault and he gets caught and thrown to the apron. Gargano tries for the same. He gets caught. Finally, Killian Dane, and by getting caught, I mean Lars Sullivan catches them on the outside. Like he's catching a fucking fly ball in the outfield at Yankee Stadium. He catches Aleister Black doing a moonsault off the middle apron. Done. Johnny Gargano gets caught. He gets thrown around by Lars Sullivan on the outside. Killian Dane, you ain't catching Killian Dane off any rope. So he does what he does. He threw his weight around. Suicide dive on Lars Sullivan. They both get taken out. So the action then starts heading towards the stage. And Lars Sullivan, again, is in control, okay? We got Lars Sullivan throwing Aleister Black off the stage right in front of where Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness are, and that other clown. So he throws Aleister Black off the stage. He takes Johnny Gargano and lifts this guy like a piece of trash over his head, and he throws Johnny Gargano on top of Aleister Black off the stage. So you're asking where Killian Dane was. He was thrown into the steel steps. So he was gone. He was taken out. It's all Lars Sullivan, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano right now as they're fighting all the way up the stage to where the announcer table is. So he gets launched into Aleister Black, does Gargano. Lars Sullivan wants to take it a step further. He starts dismantling and destroying the announce table. He clears everything off. All the announcers get up. So Sullivan, sadistically smiling at this point, and you know trouble is brewing. He is rearranging furniture. He picks up Gargano, and he's looking to powerbomb Johnny Gargano through the announcer table. Now that Sullivan has Gargano up, Gargano pretending like he's Peter Parker in Spider-Man, he's holding on to a metal structure that's sitting behind Mauro Ranallo. So he's holding on to this structure so that Lars Sullivan doesn't powerbomb him. And at that point, Black gets back up. He hits a high knee, and Gargano hits a kick, and Sullivan is laid out on the announce table. Killian Dane, remember him? He went through the steel steps on the outside before all this happened? Yeah, he ran up the stage, and he stood on top of the stage, and he seen Lars Sullivan laying out on the table. He runs off the stage and does a running senton splash through the announce table, and both men and the table just fucking are destroyed right in front of everybody, and the crowd's going crazy. So they're taken out of the match, but just for the time being. Now it's all Black. It's all Black and Johnny Gargano at this point. Crowd going crazy. You got a glimpse of what could be with Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black, two fan favorites in NXT. Crowd's going crazy. Fans are cheering for Black. Let's go Aleister, let's go Johnny, or let's go Black, Johnny wrestling, whatever they were chanting. So Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black start trading blows back and forth. You know, they try to feel each other out. After all that sequence, we got a Johnny Gargano escape applied on Aleister Black. Killian Dane arises from the ashes, runs into the ring, and he delivers a senton splash on both Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano to break up the Gargano escape. Dane hits a power bomb on Gargano, picked him up like a fucking feather, and launched him with a power bomb. Then drops an elbow, all in the same motion. He goes for a pin. Black breaks that up. Now we got Killian Dane working on Black. Black tries to take Dane down, but Gargano gets back up. And then Lars Sullivan rises from the table debris, and he heads back towards the ring. So now we got Gargano and Black out. Sullivan and Dane are in the middle of the ring. These two beasts are going at it. After they go back and forth, Aleister Black hits the Black Mass. He goes for the cover. I believe he hit the Black Mass on Lars Sullivan. He goes for the cover. And then all of a sudden, the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly come out. They pull Aleister Black's leg from underneath the bottom rope as he was making the cover on Lars Sullivan after the Black Mass. So he tried to take both of those guys out. He tried to get back into the ring to make the cover again. Then Adam Cole comes out. And he stops Aleister Black. He threw Aleister Black knees first into the ring apron. And then, I don't know if you guys watched it. I know what I was watching. Adam Cole delivered one of the most brutal Ushigoroshis I have ever seen. Aleister Black's head hit Adam Cole's knee directly that you fucking heard a smack. It was absolutely brutal. Gargano then comes outside. He tries to aid in this attack on Aleister Black. He tries to take out the Undisputed Era. So Sullivan then comes getting up from the Black Mass. He swings and misses. He goes into the steps, right? And then Dane lifts Gargano up. Johnny reverses whatever Dane was trying to do into a Hurricane Rana. He sends Dane into Sullivan, into the steel steps. So Aleister Black is getting into the ring run. He's trying to compose himself, get himself back after that brutal attack from the Undisputed Era. Gargano gets into the ring, hits a leaping DDT over the top rope onto Aleister Black, and he pins Aleister Black 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano wins and becomes the number one contender for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Philadelphia. This was a great fucking match. Like I said in the beginning, everybody looked strong. Dane, self-explanatory. You knew he was a beast coming out of War Games. Lars Sullivan, the way that they made him look, just tearing through everybody. He looked like a beast. Aleister Black even was protected. So I don't want to hear people saying, well, JD, Aleister Black was pinned tonight. That kind of ruins Aleister Black. No, it doesn't. Aleister Black's undefeated streak is still intact one-on-one. But yes, he has been pinned. The mystique of Aleister Black being undefeated completely is kind of tarnished. But there's a reason why he lost tonight. And it wasn't because of anything he did or anything that his opponents did. It was done because of people who were not even in the match. Adam Cole seeking revenge and redemption on Aleister Black for giving him a Black Mass and kicking him out of this tournament. So it makes sense. Aleister Black and his undefeated streak and him being pinned in the middle of that ring is going to play and needs to be and should be a part of a greater story here with Johnny Gargano. I am okay with giving that up to tell the story of Johnny Gargano. I really am. Johnny Gargano is your number one contender. The right man won. I can't wait for Philadelphia. WWE, please do not let me down. Please do not let me down. So it looks like if I'm booking ahead here, it looks like we might be getting Undisputed Era, Fish and O'Reilly versus the Authors of Pain for the Tag Team Championships at TakeOver. Looks like we might be getting Aleister Black versus Adam Cole at TakeOver. Looks like we might be getting Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan at TakeOver. Looks like we might be getting, I don't know, man. I don't know what we're doing with the Women's Championship, because if you're going to put Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, and mix them in with Ember Moon, I don't know what you're doing with the Women's Championship. It's way too soon for any one of those women to be winning the Women's Championship. So I don't know. That's the only thing I'm really confused about is the women. And then obviously you got Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship. NXT is absolutely on fire right now, man. Absolutely on fire. Great main event tonight. Right man won. This Gargano story is a beautiful thing. Do not bypass this. Do not risk this beautiful story for something so stupid and having Andrade keep that title. Do not have Ciampa come back and ruin Gargano's moment. Have Gargano win the title, give him his moment, and then I think the impact of Ciampa coming back, seeing Gargano as the champion, would be even greater if Ciampa comes back and ruins Gargano's chances. That's just me. Aleister Black doesn't need to be NXT champion. We'll see what happens, man. I think WWE has a beautiful thing here. I just hope that they don't ruin it. That's your NXT review, man. There really is no NXT news coming out this week, but hopefully the review was what you guys wanted on a Wednesday night, man. Thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more great content right here on the channel. I'm JD. Hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys this weekend for Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.